Hi, this is Mariah Gullo from The Hollywood Reporter, and we're in studio today with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, The Miseducation of Cameron Post.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie that I feel like is very important to you. Tell me what attracted you to this role.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'll start off with the fact that, so about 2 years ago now, I took a year and a half off to sit back and to kind of reconfigure my career. You know, I've been working since I was 5 years old, so it's been 15 years now. And so for me, it was really a second to figure out what this next iteration was going to be and how I could really put my fingerprint on my career. And activism, being an activist, has always been a massive part of my life, but I found that being able to partner my activism with my art was what I wanted to keep doing and make movies that are socially aware and progressive and you know, are kind of still entertaining and exciting and funny and attainable to big audiences. And this film was all those things wrapped into one. You know, not only was it funny, strangely funny, but it taught me so much about what conversion therapy is. And I was surprised about how much I did learn going into it because I have two gay brothers in my family. So we've been a part of the LGBT community forever. But I was even unaware of the modernity of the issue and the prevalence of it in America currently.
Did you know anything about the gay conversion therapy camps before?
I knew about the idea of praying the gay away because we're from a very Christian Baptist southern small town in Georgia. And so the idea of praying the gay away, that's something that we were always aware of that. I was unaware that there were actual camps like this that fully, they take the kids away.
Right.
For months at a time.
Yeah. The first time I heard about it was when Mike Pence came on the political scene.
Yes, yeah.
And
has avid, complete support for conversion therapy, which is jarring and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about what you learned from gay conversion therapy, because I found it interesting that they kind of run... it's a program. They run it almost like a 12-step program.
Exactly. They really liken it to that of being an alcoholic. And they even, one of the lines in the movie is you wouldn't throw a parade for alcoholics. Which is well, no, but this is not the equivalent.
I mean, some might say that would be St. Patrick's Day, but go on.
Listen, that is very true. That was funny. Yeah, completely. So the way they treat it is they try and give you tools to overcome your same-sex attraction is what they call it, your SSA. And that was just a very interesting form of psychomanipulation.
Yeah.
And the way that they go about that is they pull your labels and they try and figure out what moments in your life or in your childhood got you to the point now where you're now making the decision to be gay and to act on these, I guess, emotional situations that you went through when you were younger, and this is how you're reacting is what they try to say about it. And I guess that for me was an interesting to try and portray in the therapy scenes.
Yeah.
Because it's very insidious form of manipulation. It's very quiet. And the way that it's prosed to you, everyone would be like, well, yeah, of course I don't want to go to hell and die in a fiery inferno. And the way that it just seems very simple.
Yeah.
But it's completely incorrect what they're trying to teach, obviously.
Yeah, it seems like it's very effective because what they do is they give kids an identity. Kids who are struggling with their identity. So they're saying, "Oh, you're like this," and then it's like, "Oh, I there's a label for it."
Yeah.
It's almost scientific.
Exactly.
Right, but in the meantime, what this movie shows is that all of these kids are coming together for the first time, and they get to talk to each other.
Exactly, and it really focuses on those interpersonal relationships of being a gay kid and meeting other gay people for the first time, and realizing that, oh, you're not the only gay person. Because most of these kids, all of them really, in their communities, they were the only one. And to go to this camp where you're all being shoved in rooms together and doing group therapy sessions together, you realize, well, if I feel this way, and you feel that way, and we're all going through these things, then maybe that's not all bad. Maybe it's not all, untrue. And also, these kids are having their first sexual experiences, you know, with the same sex at this camp where they're supposed to be getting rid of their same-sex attraction. So it's very hypocritical. Yeah. It's like, I don't know what you guys are trying to do there, but it feels like you're missing the mark.
So since the movie's come out, what kind of reaction have you received from fans, other kids?
It's been really wonderful. There's been a really overwhelming response from especially young gay kids about just being represented adequately on screen. And I think that speaks highly to our director, Desiree Akhavan, who is a gay Iranian American woman. And so her life, you know, she's dealt with different obstacles, and the fact that this story doesn't focus on the obstacles at hand, which is the conversion therapy, it really focuses on the relationships and the strange, awkward ages, and it really focuses on that side of it. It speaks highly to Desi and what a brilliant director and writer she is.
What else did you learn from Desiree?
So much. You know, she really, I guess the easiest way to boil it down, and this is kind of the way I like to sum it up, because it speaks to her as a director and her as a human, but the way that the sex scenes are shot in the movie and the way that they're used in the storytelling, and how, of course, first of all, they're each one is incredibly integral. They're pertinent to the story, and they really show the depth of relationship between my character and Chloe, and how it wasn't just a fling, it wasn't just a fluke, it was something that was a very long-term relationship where they had been doing this consistently. But really it comes down to how she filmed it. And so I've been doing sex scenes since I was 16. Wow. My first one was when I was 16. And this is the first time ever in my career where I didn't sit down at a table with a bunch of people and have us break down exactly what shots we needed, what faces, what sounds, what moments we needed to get, and like break down this sex scene into bullet points of exactly what had to happen. She just looked at me, and she looked at Quinn, the other girl, and she was like, I'm pretty sure you guys can do this. Pretty sure you guys know what you need to do. Like, the one thing we had to accomplish was to get me to unbutton the cardigan with one hand. So that was like the only thing we practiced.
Just some mechanics.
Literally just some mechanics. And then otherwise she was like, I'm going to make everyone disappear. And she made every crew member completely disappear, hiding in different areas. And it was just me, the other girl, and Ashley Connor, our DP. And that speaks to how Desi finds so much confidence in the people that she casts and that she works with, from the top down, from her actors to her grips to her DP to her head of wardrobe, her hair and makeup team. Everyone, she knows that she hired them to do their job, and she doesn't micromanage them. And that's something that, you know, I've worked for 15 years. I've done a little over 60 films, and it was the first time that that level of confidence was given to everyone, and respect. And she's a true conductor in that sense. You know, a conductor's not going to go down and play the lead violinist's violin because they can't do it. They're the conductor. But they know that they can make everyone come together perfectly and harmoniously.
Do you think that's, not to be reductive, but do you think that's kind of a female trait when working with a female director? Definitely.
I mean, that's the only, I think, that you know, yeah, 100%. There's an amount of safety there where they feel completely aware, and she's completely aware and confident in who she is, and so she doesn't have to try and question you, because she knows that you're gonna show up and do what she knew you were always gonna be able to do. And that hasn't happened in the past. You know? So for me it's like, yeah, 100%.
Do you think from now on you're going to look carefully at your future roles and look for things that kind of challenge gender norms?
100%. Following this movie, I went on to do Suspiria, which is a story that really, you know, it's an incredibly empowering story, but it is a cast of all women. All women. There's only 2 guys in the movie, and they are in it for maybe a half a second, because even Lutz Ebersdorf is Tilda Swinton in prosthetics. And then following that, I did Greta with Isabelle Huppert, which is, you know, the 90s thrillers that we love, like Fatal Attraction or Basic Instinct, but with Isabelle Huppert and me. So that's, again, flipping the gender norm, where you usually wouldn't see Isabelle Huppert being in that role. It would be usually a man.
So one of the other things that I kind of picked up from this movie is that it's not only about the gay experience, but also about kind of the typical teenage experience.
Yeah.
Do you think you're moving away from teenage roles? Like you're at a point now where this might be your last teenage role?
You know, age is a weird thing in acting in general. You know, you have some 30-year-olds who are still playing teenagers in different shows and stuff. Right. So it's a strange thing. I think for me, I just try and base it off of the characters. And if there's a story that needs to be told and it happens to be, you know, in the high school years, then yes, I don't think I could reasonably pass for a freshman. Even though sometimes I feel like I look about 12 years old. I don't look quite 21. That's fine. But I really base it on just the characters in these projects that are you know, in front of me. And I think I would feel strange trying to reach above my age currently. Like, I don't think I should. I'm 21 and I feel older than 21, but I feel like I want to try and take it slowly. And I have hopefully a long career ahead of me. And I think I want to take it step by step, but I want to play the characters in the time of where I am currently in my life. And being able to, I've always used acting in a lot of ways as a form of therapy. And in a way, it's incredibly cathartic to walk through different emotions in the age that I'm in. And being able to do that since I was 5 years old and growing through my characters, I've learned so much about myself and my own emotional capacity. And I want to continue to do that. So I don't want to reach above my station in that sense. You know, I don't want to, you know, jump into a place where I want to grow with my characters. Yeah.
Since the making of this film, it was before the election. Yeah. Do you think that people have a different opinion or a view of the conversion therapy now that we're kind of on the other side of it?
Yeah, well, we started making this film in Obama era, and then I was campaigning for Hillary Clinton during it, right before we started filming it, and it was midway through production that Trump was elected president. So we were all together filming this movie when we watched her speech, and we were crying together, and it was a really interesting change of pace for us being a part of the movie, but I think for also the temperature of America and the audiences that were going to be watching this movie. And so 100% I think that in the beginning it was an important movie to us because we've always been activists and we're very progressive in our need for storytelling and what we want to do. But do I think that audiences now are perceiving this movie even more importantly than they would have if we, you know, hadn't gone into this era? Yeah, 100%. I think that the representation of gay people on screen in general, but especially in this light told through the queer lens with a gay director, it's a very important perspective. And I think in a lot of ways this is it's a movie that I think will be remembered in this time of coming out in this time and what that looks like for sure.
If people watch the Miseducation of Cameron Post and they feel moved to act on how they feel after they've seen the movie, what would you suggest they do?
Get out there, you know, really try and elect people in your city and state legislature that is going to be able to represent you and represent LGBT rights adequately. You know, it's only illegal in 14 states to subject minors to conversion therapy, but it is legal in every state in America to practice conversion therapy. 57,000 kids in the next 5 years will be put through conversion therapy today in America. Wow. 700,000 people have gone through it already in America. So this is something where it's right underneath your nose. It's in Los Angeles, it's in New York City, it's in Manhattan, it's not just in the Bible Belt, it's all over America. And try and educate yourself on that and read all the fine print. Read all the fine print when you're voting.
Chloe Grace Moretz, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
The movie is The Miseducation of Cameron Post.